You know, people always say anime live action, it can't be done. You know, there's just certain things that don't translate over to film, yada yada yada. But what about SAO? What about Ready Player One? You know, I'm just saying, these two have a lot in common. And it's just always funny because, you know, we think about stories that won't work in live action, but yet there's already live action adaptations of those stories. I mean, not the exact same, but very, very similar. Let's talk about it, right? So, SAO and Ready Player One, obviously they're not exactly the same, but they are very similar, both focusing on this main character that, you know, goes into this game world with all these other different players and characters. You know, they're not actually there, but like super mind augmented game world reality and stuff like that. And in terms of similarities, I mean, it does kind of end there. I mean, other than, I guess, the fact that there's romance and stuff too, but, you know, I would say like Ready Player One was more so a hit because the novelty of like seeing all these characters in the trailer and like the crossover of like, you know, oh my god, there's the Iron Giant or whatever. Like, it's mainly more so the novelty of like, wow, there's all these different characters. Whereas SAO, I feel like actually has a pretty decent story and like, but you know, yeah, they're both kind of in this game world. They both do have romance and stuff like that. So, and it's kind of funny, right? Because SAO is actually getting a live action adaptation. It's already been announced and it's already in the works. I do have a few hopes and expectations for the SAO live action, and to be honest, I feel like I'm gonna be a little bit more harsh for what I'm expecting for that adaptation, just because of the fact that I feel like it honestly can be done and it should be done, but there's definitely things that I hope they don't do. And I feel like, I guess because I've seen SAO and like I know one of my first handful of anime, so I feel like man, it should not be that hard to do. But if they do certain things, like I definitely would be like, okay, what are you guys doing, you know? But yeah, the similarities with Ready Player One, I mean, they also both share this like really big kind of adventure setting, but while still kind of having, you know, some real world problems. I feel like the guy in Ready Player One, they more so kind of focused on, you know, his character being lonely and like he has to go in the game world to, you know, fix that. Whereas Kirito was kind of just like, you know, a Chad, I guess, in the real world and still a Chad in the game world, I guess. They definitely didn't give Kirito the same backstory as like that guy. I think they more so just kind of made Kirito this guy who just likes playing games, you know? And honestly, that's kind of cool to me, to be honest. Like, I feel like, you know, he doesn't have to be this like angsty, lonely teenager that has to, you know, find some kind of escape just to like go into playing VR games, you know? Like, I kind of do like the fact that he's just like, yeah, I like games or whatever, you know, it's cool. I am not gonna lie, I'm not like really a fan of Ready Player One, the movie. I did not really like it, to be honest, but I do think it is very similar and has a lot of similarities to SAO, and I feel like, you know, it was a success. I mean, it did do well. I mean, I guess that's just cause like, you know, Stephen King, I don't know, I feel like if Ready Player One can do well, then like an SAO live action can definitely do well, because in comparison to Ready Player One, like actually has some really high stakes with like, you know, if you die in the game, you're dead for real. And it's like that whole concept in like a story, it's not even necessarily like the most original, but I feel like the way SAO did it in that first like, you know, season, or the first like 14 episodes was just so well done that like I feel like that's what really like took the anime world by storm. And then obviously, you know, everyone hated it with the episodes moving on after, but it was just such a like, wow, they went for this and they did it well. And I feel like that could definitely translate into live action film like really well. It's actually gonna be a TV show, which I think is a better choice if they're gonna do an SAO adaptation. But honestly, I could see them doing a film, but you know, I mean, if they're gonna do a TV show, you know, they've got a lot more to work with. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. I'm gonna make a separate video talking about, you know, my hopes and expectations for the SAO live action that is upcoming. But for this video, I kind of wanted to just quickly talk about Ready Player One and SAO and the similarities they share, and comparing the two because, you know, again, people always do say that anime live action cannot be done, but I would like to argue that it's already been done. You know, at least somewhat, right? Just for the fact of like when people say it can't work, but yet there are already movie examples of it working, you know, similar stories, similar scenarios, etc. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly make that video for you guys. But, you know, with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Ready Player One is a good example of how an SAO movie could work? Or do you think they should just not even try to make the SAO live action show? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. That helps me out a ton. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.